Hello, everyone, and welcome to Solshow. My name is Sol, and today I'm going to be talking about reminiscence. And little tidbit before we go into this review: I knew not a goddamn thing about this movie before walking into the theater yesterday, and a part of that is my fault because apparently I watched the trailer. My wife remembered watching the trailer. I didn't remember watching the trailer. And then I was gonna watch some reviews and I saw like a couple that apparently like were in my sub box, and I didn't remember them being in my sub box. So I guess my brain just like filtered this movie out of existence before watching it in the theaters. And I can see why a lot of people like weren't that hyped about this movie because COVID numbers are back up and HBO Max is a thing. I can just watch it at home. Like I can see why it's not getting the big buzz that maybe people once thought they did. But it feels like a moviegoer's movie. But this feels like your moviegoer's experience, like on premise. Like it feels like a Christopher Nolan movie. And the director, Lisa Joy, this is her first directorial debut. And she's cut from that cloth. She's married to like Christopher Nolan's brother or something like that. That's really cool. And the premise here fucking slaps, man. Basically, it's a Black Mirror episode where people can physically like sword art online, Ready Player One their brains, but into their own memories. So they can go back and put themselves in their own memories and relive whatever they want to do. There's 1,000 ideas you could do with that. There's a woman who's like, "Oh, I forgot my keys. Can you help me remember?" There's a guy who's doing what Hugh Jackman's doing. He's trying to find his lost love life. He's trying to relive his kindred spirits with his former lover, and he's the one who owns this facility. And he's like, "Hey, small doses, everybody, small doses." And then like you keep watching, and then he meets a girl, and then they start spending time together. And then, like, just out of nowhere, he wakes up, and you were watching a memory the whole fucking time. He's addicted. And yeah, that's a great premise. And that's not even to describe the setting. It takes place in a future where a large part of the world is sunken. It is filled with water. For instance, this film takes place in Miami, and it might as well take place in Venice, but like 100 times worse. Half of the buildings are just underwater, but they still have their normal lives, only like they're much more nocturnal because the sun's so fucking hot. So it's a night city life, but like half the city's underwater, like it's BioShock. It's actually really interesting, and that's just a backdrop. And then they'll reference like other cities that have fallen underwater and stuff like that. And very occasionally, like it doesn't serve the plot anything, but it's a really cool concept. There'll be a scene or two where they gotta like go into an underwater building or something. But other than that, there's no need for this really cool setting. But this noir style underwater night Miami City, I love it. It's a great idea. And the majority of this movie is Hugh Jackman going on a witch hunt to find his lost lover, who he fully believes still loves him. And then she finds out she's a whore. She's doing all this crazy stuff behind your back, man. She was lying to you. And it just keeps going. You've probably seen a couple films like that, like where she's such a mysterious dame and we got to uncover her past, but maybe we shouldn't. Maybe there's some behind the corner we don't want to know about. And yeah, that's the majority of the movie. We run into like a lot of like thugs who are bullying her around. It was a little bit boring after a while. This film is like not even 2 hours, I think, and it felt like 3 hours. They easily could have cut a lot of that down, fix the pacing, or in all honesty, just give me a different plot thread. Because the entire movie, we're just focusing on Hugh Jackman trying to find this woman, and there's good additional side characters, but they're just little pawns in Hugh Jackman's world that he's trying to knock over as he's trying to sprint to his wife's side. And I just wasn't really into the Hugh Jackman and his wife thing after a while. First I was all into it, and then like it was just Hugh Jackman yelling, running, swimming, just doing everything for her. And after a while, it just got boring. I just wanted some other plot thread going on because after a while, I don't care. Like, because she does a lot of things that makes it feel like, oh, like, why do I care about her now? Why do I still care about her now? And Hugh Jackman still cares. So I'm just watching Hugh Jackman try and try and try. And then, like, I'm looking at my watch and I'm watching him try and try. And I don't want to, like, let the pacing of this movie ruin its premise, ruin its style. This movie does have style. Like, it feels like a noir movie done by Christopher Nolan in like a sci-fi setting. That's dope. But by the end of the movie, you're falling asleep. There are little things like there's a random house in the middle of the ocean that's like just a little bit taller, just hanging out. And the second they introduced that, I was like, oh, we're obviously coming back there. But we only get it for like a second. I would have spent like 20 minutes in that house. That house seemed like a really cool idea. And there's little things all like that. We're in a nightclub. We're talking about this other city. I want to see the stuff that they're talking about, man. There's so much that's just hanging on by a thread. It's like a moment of dialogue, but we'll spend like 30 minutes hanging out with Hugh Jackman and this girl. I want to explore. I want to do more than just live in the fantasy of this guy's memory. But I do understand that that's, the idea of the film. And the way that they ended, I actually really appreciated because I thought it was going to be like this tight little bow and everyone's happy. It's a little bit darker, but a little bit more satisfying. I enjoyed the ending. Hugh Jackman, by the way, he's Hugh Jackman. He obviously killed it. If you put even a lesser actor in this role, considering how much he's on screen, probably would have completely flopped. I probably would have hated this movie if Hugh Jackman was replaced with a lesser actor. And everyone else that was in the film, we got Rebecca Ferguson. She's like this very stoic woman who you can't quite read. I enjoyed her. Daniel Wu's character as Saint Joe, I really liked. I enjoyed the cast. Great acting all around. You know what this movie feel like? This is gonna be a dumbass metaphor, but you know when you have like a really nice shirt, but like you accidentally got a hole in it or something? You just have these couple holes and it just ruins the shirt. But you're like, it's still a nice enough shirt. I don't have to, I can wear it. It's just a casual appearance. Like it's like that. Like it's being held together. It's nice enough, but there's some glaring problems with it that really hold it down. My main problem is I was really bored for a long part of the movie, and that shouldn't be the case with this great premise and this great cast. That being said, though, I'm going to give Reminiscence a 6 out of 10. Again, like the style, like a lot of things about it, a large part of it left more to be desired. I do want to see more by Lisa Joy, though. I think she's got some cool ideas cooking up there, if you know what I mean. Anyway, though, thank you so much for watching, everybody. Leave your thoughts on Reminiscence if you have any down below. I have a lot more other movie reviews on this channel. I would check those out. And until next time, with that, I leave you.